My name is Jim Verant. I'm a retired executive from Honeywell. Back in the 60s and 70s under Ed Spencer, we talked about shareholder value and stakeholder value, and it really was very much a part of our culture. I don't see that much different from what you're trying to do, and I commend you in what you're trying to do. In the 80s, well, really the 90s, we saw the immersion of monotonically increasing profit goals. And I think it really changed the culture of management in many of the country, particularly the large companies. You haven't addressed, and this is my question, what can we do to in fact motivate your underlings, your junior managers, your junior executives, to understand that shareholder value and stakeholder value are really the same thing, and will build a community as well as the business?
I think it's a very important point to make, because it's not just about one person. It has to be about the culture and kind of guiding principles of the company. If I felt this way alone, and the board didn't support it, and the members of our team didn't support it, it wouldn't be executed, because one person can't carry this kind of torch. And when I think about a culture of a company or a culture of organization, it's very much like, believe it or not, raising a young child, because there's an imprinting process that goes on in imprinting people with what we stand for. And the business has a memory, and the memory is the way things have been done. So when one person does something that's inconsistent with the culture and values, it stands out. And I think that what we've tried to do at Starbucks, and many other companies are the same, is recognizing that the profitability, the strategy, and the execution of the company is the manifestation of its guiding principles. And you can't have one without the other. Now, there are some companies whose culture and goal is just to make money. That's their business. And certainly there are financial institutions like that. But we've all seen in the last year or so in which many people who work for those companies feel as if that's no longer sustainable and not enduring. And that's why when I started, I feel as if that there are signs, signals, that things are changing. They won't change fast, but they are changing. And people recognize in all industries, in many, many companies, that there has to be a balance between profitability and a social responsibility.
What do you think generally of the corporate social responsibility movement? I mean, to be honest, I'm fairly skeptical that it's real as opposed to, public relations.
Well, I think the catch term in the last 5 years has been CSR, corporate social responsibility. And CSR is not writing a check and issuing a press release about a contribution you just made to some community. The CSR group in a company must have a seat at the big table, like every other department and discipline. It has to be integrated into the company. When it's outside, it's an afterthought, and it's not real. And I agree with you. I have some cynicism myself when I see some of the things that come out. But I think most companies today recognize, just like HR and just like other disciplines, social and digital media is a new discipline, that there has to be an integration into the entire company in which corporate responsibility is part of what the company stands for. And I think that's happening more today than in the past.